Sorry, I'm late. I had to go to Goodwill and shop for some clothes for my trip to NASA. You'll see why pretty soon. But let's talk about that Star Wars trailer, huh? It finally came out just like I thought it would during Star Wars Celebration. A lot of people were wondering if it was going to come out on May the 4th. A lot of people thought that we were going to get a teaser before Star Wars Celebration and then a full trailer during Star Wars Celebration like they did with The Force Awakens, which I honestly thought that they were going to do, but nope, they released the whole full first trailer during Star Wars Celebration. This is the first real footage that the public is finally getting to see for this film, and it was worth the wait. I really liked how vague the Force Awakens trailer was, with a lot of the things just left up to interpretation just to keep people wondering until the movie actually came out. The first teaser trailer for The Force Awakens, I remember watching that at work, and my boss thought throughout the whole trailer that it was just a fan-made cut. Finn pops up, is this a fan-made trailer? And then the voice in the background with no real footage, is this a fan-made trailer? The lightsaber, and then the Falcon, is this from a video game? With Kylo Ren's lightsaber with the two hilt things, he was dead set sure that that was a fan-made trailer. But no, it was an actual teaser trailer, and the reason he thought that it was a fan-made trailer is because there wasn't really any information in the trailer except for Kylo Ren's lightsaber. And I was at Star Wars Celebration in California 2 years ago when the actual full-length trailer for The Force Awakens dropped, and it was incredible. I loved that trailer. But that's not the trailer that you came here to talk about. Let's talk about the trailer for The Last Jedi. Shots of Rey on Ahch-To, that shot of Kylo Ren with his lightsaber, Poe running down a hallway, Finn sleeping, the Millennium Falcon flying around with, you know, no Han at the... oh, now I'm sad. BB-8, TIE fighters, red smoke, walkers. If you look really close, you can see the walkers in the background. And then there's that very familiar fiery shot from another perspective with Luke putting his hand on R2's dome. But the real thing I want to talk about in this video is that last line that Luke says. Oh yeah, that's right, Luke talks in the trailer! Didn't talk at all during The Force Awakens, now he's speaking 90% of the words in the trailer. He says, "I only know one truth. It's time for the Jedi to end." There's already speculation about that line because of how it's cut, because if you listen really carefully, you can hear that the two parts of the line don't actually sound like they're taking place at the same time, or were recorded at the same time. So either that line is made up from two different parts of the movie, it was recorded for the trailer, or we're just thinking too hard and maybe he just turns as he's saying it. It doesn't pick it up that well. I don't know. Or maybe it's not even Luke saying that line. Maybe Rey is having a dark side vision like Luke did on Dagobah when he was training with Yoda. But if that line is to be taken at face value, what do you think Luke means by that? Do you think that he means that the Jedi shouldn't exist at all? Do you think that they should be reorganized and modernized for the current era? Or do you think that this is just some big red herring that they're just throwing at us because they know that we are going to speculate about it? Most of the shots of the trailer seem to be from the beginning parts of the movie. I feel like Poe and Finn and the Resistance are going to be doing their own thing. Luke and Rey are going to be on Ahch-To doing their own thing, and then they're going to come to a point. My takeaway from the last line is that Luke found something from the very, very beginning of the Jedi that made him realize that everything that he had been taught was kind of a lie or the wrong way of going about doing things. We can tell in the prequels that the Jedi are a force for good, but they also do things in kind of a strange way. And that the Chosen One was supposed to bring balance to the Force. Not 2 and 2, but being able to deal with the light side and the dark side. This is something that Mace Windu and Qui-Gon Jinn were both able to do. They were Grey Jedi. For those of you that don't know, the term Grey Jedi is a Force user who is able to walk between the light and the dark side without succumbing to the dark side of the Force. Also, a Grey Jedi would distance themselves from the Jedi Order, but a Grey Jedi is technically something that really only existed in the Legends, the extended universe, which is now Star Wars Legends. Not canon. And it was always believed that the Chosen One would bring balance to the Force, the light side and the dark side of the Force. We know from The Force Awakens that Luke failed to bring back the Jedi Order, something that Han said Luke feels personally responsible for. So Luke went in search of the first Jedi Temple, hoping to find out what the core ideology of the Jedi Order was. The Jedi have always kind of seemed to have this somewhat broken ideology. I mean, Obi-Wan and Yoda really had no problem keeping secrets from Luke so that he would kill his own father. And in the prequels, they were dogmatic, short-sighted monks who failed to see the Sith's final plan. I feel the logical step for Luke as a Force user would be to denounce the way of the Jedi and find his own way to become a great Jedi. And thus, Star Wars The Last Jedi will show us The Last Jedi. There will be no more Jedi after Luke. The Jedi Order in the prequels was just something that was so convoluted. It really only showed Jedi and Sith as the two sides, the two main Force users. But there are so many other Force users. Chirrut Îmwe from Rogue One is a perfect example. He was not a Jedi, he was not a Sith, but he was a very powerful Force user. Bringing in the ideology that there's something more than Sith and Jedi is a definite step forward in the right direction for Disney to want to, you know, sort of distance themselves from the prequels, but also give them a lot more to talk about in future films. I realize now that I say that out loud, they wouldn't want to distance themselves from the prequels because that's core to the Star Wars series, but they want to help things evolve to go along in a progressive sort of way. The way that people would use the Force is going to change over time. Things could become murky, right, wrong, black, white. It could be a little more grounded in reality. Not to mention there are so many more stories you could tell with that sort of Force ideology. Anyway, I would love to know what you think about Luke's last line in the trailer. Do you think it was cut that way intentionally for the trailer, or do you think that's actually going to be the line? And if so, what do you think Luke means by that? If he does mean that it's the end of the Jedi, do you think someone is going to convince him to try again? Because that's the important thing to do. Or do you think he's going to tread lightly between the light and the dark side, being able to wield them both and teaching Rey to do the same? As always, my name is Travis. Thank you for listening to What I Have to Say, and you will see me on Monday.